Stretch it out.
Stretch it out. Get the jitters out. Get comfortable.
You still get jitters?
No.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't. I never get jitters. I'm the consummate professional.
Okay,
I never get jitters.
Okay.
Nah, you know why? Because I know at the end of the day we're pre-recording, so I can just always stop and just.
There you go. If you feel
if something feels weird, I just be like, all right, hold on, let's do that again. Even though it never happens.
Yeah.
But it's always comfortable.
Turn my mic up. Take it there. Yeah. On the road to the riches. Life takes a toll like bridges. Good friends become foes and snitches. Better watch who knows in your business.
All right, Hustle Fam. We are back with another amazing episode. We are here live on location at Select Trucks of Atlanta. I am here with my good friend Courtnay.
Yes.
Miss Courtnay Beckham. How are you, man?
I am amazing. Doing good.
Okay.
And just excited that you are finally here.
Oh man, how long has this been like in the making? Like,
me, us have been trying to put this together for over a year, and just trucking went crazy, and ours and your schedules never jived, and we're doing it today.
But we're here. We're gonna do it. We're gonna bring some major value.
We're gonna talk.
Courtnay is top salesman. Are you the top salesman? Are you number one?
Pretty darn close.
Are you gonna ruffle some feathers by saying that?
No, we've been in the top 3 company-wide for probably as long as I've worked here.
Okay.
20 plus years, yeah.
Top salesman here at Select Trucks of Atlanta. I feel with the current, state of the industry, it is so important to talk about what's going on with these trucks. And there's nobody better than Miss Courtnay here. She is a veteran in this game, to say the least. She's been around. She's worked with a lot of my friends. And like I said, Courtnay, it's great to have you on the show. So let's get started. So we're live on location. Okay. The first thing that I want to say I noticed is you guys actually have some trucks in the lot. What's going on here?
Okay. Well, first I'll tell you, every truck out there right now is sold.
Okay. Because I was going to make a few phone calls and say, hey guys, I know where the trucks is at. They're stashed over here in Select. All right, so those trucks are sold. Sorry.
And that's why I'm so excited for you to be here today, because we're answering that question daily, and it's just real. I guess the word exasperating is probably a good word to use, because you have so many people needing trucks right now. Phone calls off the hooks, text, emails, customers that I've had for years coming out of the woodwork.
Right.
And then you've got to explain what I want to explain today to every one of them.
Yeah.
And what's going on is, if you don't know, Select Trucks is the used truck division of Freightliner Corporation.
Okay.
And Select Trucks started to remarket all the trucks when these big fleets get their new trucks. And when I say big fleets, I'm talking J.B. Hunt, Crete, Swift, Prime, C.R. England, the biggest fleets in the country. We remarket those trucks. Well, when COVID hit, you had trucking went bananas. I've never seen anything like it. I've been doing this 23 years. That was the busiest year of my entire career.
That
year in COVID.
Just to give some context real quick, let's say pre-COVID, how mmany trucks were you, moving a day, to after COVID? Just to give people an idea what those numbers look like.
On the average, you could push out 10 to 20 trucks a month, feasibly, getting those through the shop, getting paperwork, getting insurance. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes, not just let me ring it up.
Right.
We have an incredible team back there that works with very big volume, so they're used to that. But with that said, when COVID hit, you had FedEx went crazy, Amazon, just all the, shout out to Alex with Good Energy. Huge shout out to him for just really bringing a lot of people that needed another income.
No doubt.
Just amazing what he's doing.
Yeah, for sure.
That in itself just brought a lot of other customers to the industry. So with that said, trucks were depleted. We had probably close to 10,000 trucks sitting in corporate inventory when COVID hit. They're gone. All of them are gone. They were gone within 5 to 6 months.
Wow.
So everything was depleted. So we have, just everything going on with all of that, getting those trucks delivered, just more and more people coming. But now you've got the issue with the computer chips.
Okay.
And that same thing going on with the car business, probably affecting the trucking business. I would say even worse.
Okay.
Because the trucks are going to get things to the car businesses.
Right.
You know, so you have computer chips and plastics that are absolutely stagnating the trucking industry right now. So we've got about 8, 9 buyers flying all over the country, just getting pockets of trucks. That's where incredible buyers and relationships come into play. So we've been able to keep trucks coming in, but it's on a daily basis where before we could know, okay, we're going to buy 20 of these JB Hunts and 30 of these, and we knew exactly what we had.
Okay.
Now it is a hodgepodge of just getting trucks from here and there. Very, very diverse inventory as far as internationals, Kenworths, Peterbilts, Max, stuff that we might not have ever sold before, bringing them in here and doing what we do. But a complete shift in every realm of how I've done business. So with that said, everything that comes in and is purchased is sold before it gets here. I mean, because I have stacks of people needing trucks. So I don't want to deter anybody from getting in that stack, because that's where I just bought 8 trucks a few weeks ago. We had 8 of those. They were sold in 10 minutes because we just went to the next 8 people in line. You know, so it's very imperative that you get that approval, get it in there, so I know who to go to, who has this down payment. It's what I'm doing now is a logistical crazy puzzle. Imagine people with trucks and what they have and this, and it's just I can't even really explain it. I mean,
it's a lot
because I've never seen anything like it. Our industry has never seen anything like it. So it's,
so let's just put some context around it. So obviously everybody's heard about the truck shortage, right? And you said it's because of the computer chips. Can you just expound on exactly like what that means when you say the computer chips?
Yeah.
So people could understand what's going on with them?
Right. And obviously I'm not an expert on computers or chips or anything like that, but how it has affected us, it's definitely these newer trucks. Back in the day when I first started trucks in the 90s, started selling trucks, a truck was a truck, now they're big computers going down the road. Our technicians, I'll give another shout out to them, huge shout out to them, because they have to be trained yearly, monthly on all the new computer issues with trucks.
Right.
So technicians are not mechanics anymore. They are absolutely computer doctors. That's what I call everybody in my shop, doctor so and so. So you've got just so many different components of computers in that truck. The entire brain of that truck is now computer. We have I'm not sure if it's still back there. There's a whole board back in the technician's break room that was covered a whole wall, and there was over 1,000 sensors in that truck.
Wow.
So when you say we're short on computers, I don't know if it's this part or this part or this part, but whatever it is, it's affecting where you have thousands and thousands of trucks sitting in, fields, in stadiums. They might be 90 to 95% complete, but they need this one little thing. They might need one little steering column thing, so it is just it's so agaggravating because
so structurally they're ready, like the bodies are built, everything's in there, but it's just that waiting on the chip. And do you know why what's going on with the chips? Why they're why there's a backup?
I think it's the same thing going on with everybody. Just not enough workers in these places. Building these, it takes people to run it, a line or this or that. Same thing with cars, but that's a great question. I wish I had a better answer for it because I could explain it better to everybody who calls, but I really don't.
Got you. So obviously, obvious economics, supply and demand, right? So because we have this shortage of supply, there's this huge demand. How has that impacted the price of trucks?
Oh my Lord. Great, incredible question. Because that, when I have these customers that have bought trucks from me for 20 years, Courtnay, I need 2 more trucks, and I have to tell them what the price is. Keep in mind, historically, my entire career, I've sold $40,000 to $60,000 trucks. That's where used trucks have been. That's where they always have been. Right now, you're looking at $80,000 to $100,000 trucks
For the same type
for
of
the
used
same
truck.
used truck, because there are right now bidding wars to get trucks. You have, 4 trucks come available over here in some town in Ohio, and you have 200, 300 dealers trying to get those trucks. We usually can get them because we've got pretty big pockets to do that.
Yeah.
But all that's doing is just pushing the price of trucks up and up and up. Not because we want to be selling $80,000 to $100,000 trucks.
Right.
We have to. I mean, here's the other part of it. The second you get that inventory, it's sold within minutes. It doesn't matter if it's $80,000 to $100,000. You've got a FedEx guy who's got 4 trucks. He needs a 5th truck to earn this other lane that can make him $1 million, and he needs a truck. So he's going to buy whatever he can get his hands on. And so we are working overtime profusely. I mean, everybody here is just worn out. I mean, to the 100 millionth percent. Just because, everybody understands. We have a lot of customers here, a huge customer base here, and for good reason. But it's just, we don't want to have to say no.
Right.
To say no to that many people it's hard because right now there's more freight than there ever has been.
Yeah.
And so, you understand the pain that everybody's going through right now, and we're going through it too. So,
Got you. Well, let's rewind a little bit real quick, just to kind of give people, understanding of who you are and how you kind of got into the industry. Talk about how you got into selling trucks to begin with.
Oh my goodness. I'm not going to give the whole story because it's a really kind of a funny story.
Okay.
But,
Give us the
and if he's
funniest part.
watching, I'll send this to him. No, my husband actually interviewed for a trucking job.
Okay.
This was back long ago, and I had sold electronics for 13 years for a company that kind of closed down, and they wanted me to go into management. Didn't want to. I love sales. I love just being kind of at the forefront of what's going on with a business, not behind the scenes. Anyway, he interviewed for this job, and he called me from the car and said, "Courtnay, I just interviewed for a job that I think you would absolutely love." And I said, "What? What are you talking about? Selling trucks?"
Yeah.
And I didn't know what an axle was. I didn't know what anything about a truck was. Didn't know anything about cars. Didn't know any of that at that time.
Right.
And
when is this?
But anyway,
this is what year now?
This was I've been selling trucks 23 years.
23 years.
Yeah.
Wow. So it was like 90
something.
Long
ago.
90 something.
Long ago.
Right.
No, but anyway, so I reached out to this guy, and I was like, what am I going to lose? I went and talked to this guy, and we went back and forth. He made me take some test, and then he called me back and said, "You didn't get the job." And I got angry. So, I never had somebody not, tell me that you're not going to fit for this job.
Right.
I took that to heart, left there. He had mentioned some names in this interview, and he had no idea I was going to reach out to those people.
Oh, wow. You just went around him.
Yeah, I reached out to all those people.
Yeah.
Really delved into the industry, found out, what these people were making. I found out just a lot more about the industry, and called him back, and he brought me back again after I talked to him again, and then we sat in his office, and this is kind of the funny part about it. We literally argued for about an hour. He was like, "You can't do this." I'm like, "Yes, I can if I've done this." We just went back and forth for an hour.
Right.
And I said, "You know what? This is going to be the worst decision you've ever made."
Wow.
And I stood up, got ready to walk out, and he said, "Hold on a minute." He said, "If you can do what you just did, you can sell trucks."
There you go. There you go.
That was 23 years ago.
Wow.
So, and he's still in the business, and just an awesome guy who hired me and just really invested in me and taught me a lot about the business without making me feel like I didn't know.
Gotcha.
He knew that I could sell stuff. He just didn't know I could sell trucks.
Yeah, 100%. Here we are now.
So I'm really thankful for him. I always go back to people that gave you that chance and, listened to you, at least gave you an ear,
Right.
and I have loved every minute of it.
No doubt.
It's a complete industry that you wouldn't think. At the time, there were no women doing this, and not many salespeople still to this day, very few. But you just, I think you can sell anything if you just set your mind to it.
Right. No, you're right. And if you love it, you have a passion for it, and you're good with people and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
That's beautiful. All right, so let's talk trucks, right?
Okay.
Take me through the Select experience, right? I'm a new investor. Okay. I'm coming into this business. I'm just getting started, right?
Right.
What if you had to put it in a framework, what are the things that I should be thinking about? Like if there's 4 pillars of, what you should think about when you're purchasing the truck, what would you say that, it don't have to be 4, but what would you say are those things you think about before they come see Courtnay?
Absolutely. The number one thing is why do you want to come see Courtnay? I mean, I think the biggest thing I can say is it's not, I have a team here that is just absolutely amazing. We have probably one of the top computer techs in the state of Georgia back here. We have just so much knowledge, and that's what I say would be the number one thing is where you purchase your truck. There's so much, and we're going to talk about all of this.
Yeah.
But, is just it can make or break what you're doing. Absolutely. I'm very, very open and tell people, there's been so many people that come in my office and we have a conversation. And by the way, that's probably one of the best things about what I do is hearing these stories daily. And hearing these stories, you've got to take heart that this person put their livelihood in your hands.
Right.
And so you've got, there's been many times where I've told them they're not ready to get a truck. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, no, you need to do this, 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 and this. And you come back and see me, and at that time we'll be ready. I think that's kind of unprecedented when you have a dealership that's going to tell people not to buy a truck,
Right.
Because if you don't do it right the first time, you will absolutely not succeed in this business.
Got you. Let's stop there.
Okay.
When they're not ready, what are some of those things that, hey, you're not ready yet? What are some of those things that you see?
The number one thing is, if you didn't have enough down payment, you think, oh, I'll just go do a lease program. I'll just go to a buy here, pay here place. Okay? Yeah, that's going to get you in a truck, but it's not going to get you in a truck that's going to keep you in business. One of the biggest things is, and we can go into detail of that, is, we spend close to $7,000 to $12,000 per truck here. I don't say that lightly. I mean, it amazes me sometimes because I'm the one who sees these bills. It could be a truck that we spend $5,000 on, or we can spend $18,000 on. Right before, when you drove up, I said, I have a bunch of red folders on my floor. All my customers have been here, have seen them on the floor. That's all my deals that are getting ready to go.
Okay.
And in each of those folders, I put all the shop invoices. I had no idea who was who and which one was which, and I saw you drive up. I said, let me pull one of these, so I'll show him when we get to talking.
Right.
Which is one I've just pulled. It was $18,000.
Wow.
So that was just a random invoice that I just pulled, and that's the difference here. Most places are going to inspect a truck, and then somebody, I know because I've done that before in a management position, in the first place I was hired, to fix this, don't fix this, and you're told what not to fix. Here, we fix everything. Everything. I mean, our manager doesn't sign off on not fixing anything.
Wow.
So when you're talking $18,000 on a truck, nobody does that.
Wow.
Nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, not even in the Select Truck network. I mean, that's a choice that you make as a dealership. That's a choice you make as management here, which I highly respect the management here for doing that. I mean, they could be no. It makes my job easier. It makes my customer's job to know that when I look at you, I'm going to say, we fixed everything on this truck.
Right.
And go to home and go to bed at night and know that's true.
Right.
And so that would be the number one thing, just where you buy your truck.
Yeah.
Knowing that if somebody referred you here, that person probably already knows that.
Yeah.
So very, very important on that. When you're talking about just, lease programs and dealerships on a dirt lot somewhere, be very careful. I mean, this stuff on these new trucks, talking about computer chips and that kind of thing. You're talking expensive repairs now. One of the biggest ones that I do want to talk about, and this is where computer chips and all this comes into play. And one of the things that we do here that stands out, nobody does this. And I found that out by trying to take some of the programs that I do on national levels and calling management, calling salespeople and saying, well, this is what I want you to do with my customer there. Well, I'm going to send them to you. Well, we don't do that. What are you talking about? One of those things is replacing the DPF filters, replacing the DEF filters. We're talking thousands of dollars, $3,000 to $4,000 that we're doing here that we're paying for. Customers not paying for that.
Right.
These are programs that I've advocated for with corporate, where we pay half, corporate Freightliner pays half, and we put a brand new DPF filter. If you guys don't know what a DPF filter is and you're just getting in this business, it's the most important thing in that truck. When everything changed over with all the emissions and all this after treatment, and I don't want to use words that nobody understands, but it changed our entire industry. We have a room down the hall here where we take people down there and show them what these components look like so they understand what a dirty one looks like.
Right.
That's what most dealerships leave in that truck.
Right.
If they clean up the outside, it's going to look real pretty on the outside, but that filter leaves most places about 80 to 90% full of ash, which used to go back out into the environment. Now it goes back in that filter. What we do is take it out, throw it in the trash. That's where the warranty comes into play there, because it's linked to that warranty, that Freightliner factory back warranty. So that one thing, changing those things and making sure all these components work correctly. I mean, if you don't do those things and have a one box failure, that one box holds all this new emission stuff. That can be up to 15 to 20 grand, one repair. And so you've got to do your homework right now. This is not let me just jump into this. You have to trust who you're working with.
Right.
And you need to know the questions to ask. Asking those questions. Do y'all replace the DPF filter? Do y'all do an SCR test? I don't want to start all these different things. Like, what is she talking about? But there's different tests they do for Detroit and they do for Cummins. They're extremely, extremely important tests that give you, what these readings are for the emission systems. Getting the ash count. We actually print out a reading that will show what the ash count is. We give that to all our customers. At this point, now that we're replacing the DPF filters, we don't even have to do that.
Right.
So it's imperative just to know the truck, know the right questions to ask. And, because a lot of people, do you have a black truck? Do you have a red truck? I'm like,
yeah, hold on.
Yeah, no.
Whoa there, buddy.
Seriously, you want.
It's not a bag of M&Ms.
And I don't want to, I understand because I'm a girl.
Yeah.
I want a red shirt. I want a black shirt.
We get it. Yeah.
But
got to match your sneakers.
Yeah. It happens. It does happen a lot. So I try to respectfully just bring them back in a professional way to the importance of this decision that they're making. And I don't take it lightly.
No, I got you. Does the customer have visibility on all those repairs that you guys are making? They see the
Absolutely. That's what's in my red folder. That's another thing. We tell people, and I've gotten so many sales by telling people that. Well, Courtnay, I'm looking at a truck here and I'm looking at a truck there. And I'm like, okay, do me a favor. Go back there and ask them to print out everything they've done to that truck that you're looking at, and then call me.
Right. And
it has closed so many deals I can't even tell you, because they're not providing, when you're looking at here, here's $18,000 on this truck.
I see it.
What's the date on this? Let's give you the date. This was finished, well, that was when it went in the shop. So you're looking at a truck that was, it hasn't even gone out, so it's getting ready to be delivered.
Yeah.
And you're looking at, $18,000, and so
put it afterwards. After the truck was acquired.
This is what goes in every folder. Now, I'm not saying $18,000 on every truck,
right.
But you're looking at one might be $5,000, one might be $7,000, but the point is the inspection is the same.
Yeah.
This is the inspection that we do. It's
Courtnay brought receipts, yeah.
Oh, Lord. Well, I mean, And you're going to see this when you get a truck here. I say my red folder. It's kind of become the infamous red folder because I mean that's what it is full of. It's full of just information, things that I've collected over the years that I thought were important, not just shop invoices, but things I think that could be helpful to customers, or the intervals when you need to do things to that truck.
Right.
But this is something the customer actually never sees. This is when I say where this money comes from. We have one guy, his name's Carlton. I'll give a shout out to him. Very, very meticulous person. He spends an entire day going through each truck. And what he does is this, 128 inspection, and it's 148 if you're talking about like a box truck or something like that. But what he does is goes through this. He's looking for every single thing that he can find wrong on that truck. He is just takes his time. He does not rush anything. That's so when people are calling me and saying, when's my truck ready? I'm just like, it's going to be ready when I call you. Right. Because, and I try to tell people from the beginning is just, be respectful to those guys. Everybody's got loads. They got to do this. And our industry is so fast moving and so everything about it is move. But you don't want to move that process. You want them to take their time. You want them to find everything that they can. You want them to fix everything they can. Another thing that is hindering that process right now is obviously parts availability, not just computers and chips, and I'm talking everything. I had a customer call me this week, Mr. Nash. He's been one of my customers for probably 5 or 6 years. Almost in tears. Because he's got a truck down with a one box that the warranty is covering because it's on a truck that he bought from me last year. But it's on back order. And so he's been down just weeks and weeks, and it's, he was okay. But it's those kind of things that just, are going to take time back here. Because when we're doing the inspections, we find, obviously, $18,000 worth of stuff. You got a lot of parts there that need to be ordered. So, I've just been asking everybody, just be patient with the process. All this is unprecedented. And, I come in every day just say a little prayer and just, okay, let me stay positive because I've got to be the one who's giving this news. And I know it's going to turn around. I've been through every up and down you can imagine in this industry in 23 years. When we just had 9/11, when that happened, this industry went insanity then. Everybody was scared to even be near a truck, so it was, I've seen just everything. And so, I'm going to be positive that this is going to turn around and we're going to get right back to what we need to be doing, which is moving trucks out of here. No doubt.
Yeah. Let's get back to our pillars. So we talked about basically where you find your truck, right?
There you go.
So let's start. We have that. That's one. Okay. Right. Your success starts here. That's the slogan. Right. So what's the next pillar for that success?
Right. Well, I can go from here and then I can go to me.
Okay.
What I bring to this whole process is not just me. I take it very, very seriously what I do because it is someone's livelihood. It is so different than let me just go buy a red car. I'm out here, I'm taking pictures on social media of my red car.
Right.
No, you've got to bring in money for your family. You've got to, this could be multiple families' income into this. And so what I do is I take, before 90% of the time, I don't even walk out to the lot.
Okay.
I really don't. Everybody here will tell you that because I want to hear the story. I want to get every bit of that story so that I can make sure that I'm providing the right thing for your family. So really it's the every day I come in here, I'm learning something different, and I bring that information and that knowledge to my customers. And so when you're talking 23 years of information and learning and just talking to customers and just, management here, just the knowledge they have, it takes your process to another level. It really, really does, especially when you're talking about something of this magnitude. This is a big item. And I better know what the heck I'm talking about. Unlike when I first started, back when I didn't know what an axle is. Now I could tell you everything about this truck. I don't know the semantics of what, they know back in the shop. No, I'm not trained to do that, but I know what I need to know to put somebody in a truck that is going to make sense for what they're going to be doing.
Yeah.
You really do got to know that kind of stuff. You got to know gear ratios and why this would haul this, and wait a minute, that's not the right truck for you. It might be, so you don't want to find somebody who's just trying to sell you a truck. You want to find somebody that really wants to help you, help your business. My main thing is I want you to buy a truck, but I want you to come back and continue buying from me for years and years and years. And that's really where 90% of my business is right now, is on repeats and referrals. And there's a reason for that, because they got a good product. They felt like they were treated correctly. And, I say this all the time, this is my family. All these customers are my family. I mean, I'm serious. I spend more time here, as we all do, with you're spending time with your team here, not at home with your family. So, we just know that I'm going to treat you like I would my family, and I do. Every customer that I've sold a truck to in 23 years has got a birthday card from me every year. Every year.
No doubt.
And I just had a call this week, matter of fact. It's really a cool call. Matter of fact, I put it on the back of my door. I'll show it to you. I put his name because it was a message.
Okay.
And I tagged it to the back of my door in there because I thought it was so cool that this guy bought a truck from me 20 years ago. Okay. Literally, I pulled his file because I couldn't remember when he bought a truck. And I pulled the file. I'm like, 2000 what? I was like, oh my gosh. But he wasn't calling me to buy anything. He called me. I thought this was such a cool time and for something to talk about with you, because I went home and told my husband about it. And it was just so cool because he called me just to tell me, Courtnay, I just want to tell you, thank you, because I bought my first truck from you 20 years ago. And he's got a fleet now. Yeah. And he said, I just want to tell you thank you. Right. And I thought, who does that? Who does
That's that? Really cool.
And we ended up talking on the phone for because I didn't get the message, so I started calling. It was late at night, calling him back. And we ended up talking for an hour on the phone just about his family and what my family was doing. And just, it was like I was talking to an old friend. Yeah. So I would say that. Just
so it's important to kind of get the details of the business, right? Like what their plans are for the truck. So you guys kind of go through what your business model is, and do you find people come prepared with that stuff, or a lot of times they're just like, I'm gonna get a truck and I'll figure that part out later?
Well, we have such an array of customers, I mean, one day you're dealing with, Coca-Cola, and the next day you're dealing with a farmer, so, and it's such a different array of customers. So with that said, that's where those stories come into play. Yeah. And knowing how to maneuver those stories in the correct direction, so I don't know if that answered that question or not.
It does, and we can go a little bit deeper into it. So for example, let's say I'm coming in, I'm a new investor, and I want to, I want to start an over-the-road operation. Yep. Like typically a lot of, new people get into this industry. Yeah. What kind of trucks do you refer? Like what is there a preference in style, make, model? Can you talk a little bit about that?
That's a great question. I mean, obviously, Select Trucks, we're the used truck division of Freightliner. So, I've sold Freightliners almost my whole career. So, but our buyers are always searching for other, good deals on trucks. And when I say good deals, that's another thing to be extremely cautious of. We turn down so much inventory, or while we don't, this area, they have rusty trucks or this or that. Some places may just buy that stuff and cover it up, We're very, very cautious, know how to buy trucks. So with investors, and we're getting so many investors right now coming into that, and that's really a huge portion of my business right now. And so when they're coming in, I'm making sure it's a truck that we can do Freightliner warranty on, if we have Freightliner inventory. Right. Normally we would always have Freightliner inventory. Little bit tricky to answer that question right now because we're just bringing in inventory. International's Kenworth. Now we're very even still cautious with that because say we're going to bring in an international, where we're going to make sure it's an international with a Cummins. International has had some bad reps with some other engines that they've had, and it's just been really, really bad situations. And so, if we know those things, we're going to bring in inventory that's going to make more sense to the customer and, with less issues and problems. So what we've had to do is bring in some other warranties. Bring in what is the best warranty that's not a Freightliner warranty? What would be the next one in line? And so we would, we're trying to kind of get back to those partnerships again and bring those back to the table because we had to. You can't sell a Freightliner warranty on a Mack truck, or whatever.
Right.
But when things get back to normal, without a doubt, it's going to be a Freightliner with a Detroit, with, if you're looking at every fleet in the country, that's what they're running.
Right.
I always tell people, don't listen to me, listen to JB Hunt. That's the largest fleet in the country. What are they running? Why are they running that? They're running it because of parts availability. They're running it because, the warranty there's more Freightliner places. There's over 800 places that you can get a truck worked on with Freightliner. That's how many dealerships are out there.
Yeah.
You don't have to go 2 states over to get a windshield wiper, so, those things, when you're running 1,000 trucks, that second, that day you're down, all those things cost money. So they're looking for the biggest network, which leads me into my next thing, is the Freightliner network is absolutely crucial to what we do here. It is a huge operation, huge in every realm. The second that warranty goes in the system, the day they buy that truck, it's all over the country. It's a national coverage that goes in where all they have to do is pull up the last 6 of that VIN, boom, your truck's being worked on. So, those network things have just really changed the whole industry in the sense of why Freightliner has remained number one. It's remained number one for many years. If you're looking at a pie chart, you're going to see 3/4 of it, Freightliner, and then you got a little international Kenworth, Peterbilt, over here. We still sell those. They're not saying they're bad trucks, but if you're looking from a business standpoint, which most people starting a business, entrepreneurs coming in here, trying to get a second stream of income, you want something that is going to be a business investment. And a Freightliner is exactly that. So now right now we have been bringing in just all kinds of stuff and because people just need trucks. So, we're just kind of maneuvering through that daily. But yeah, if I was going to say, what I would suggest to people, it would be that definitely a Freightliner. With a Freightliner warranty, that's another thing I just wanted to touch on because
I was actually going to ask that next. What does that Freightliner warranty cover?
That's one of the, I would say, really one of these pillars you're talking about because that right there is going to make or break your business. So many places will do this, and it just enrages me because they'll just sell a truck and just say, oh, it comes with warranty. You don't know that. You don't know what warranty is or not, or you just kind of go with what the salesperson says. And you've got to, if you have any conscious in any way being in your body, you've got to be able to tell this customer what they have and what they don't have. So with Freightliner warranty, to me, the biggest thing is it's number one, it's a Freightliner factory-backed warranty. It's not a outside company that's really out there to make money. This is the people that made the truck are backing their truck.
Right.
And so there's certain things like these certifications. The outside source warranties, people don't know this, but most of those warranties, you don't have to do anything to. It's basically what I've always called in my career is a slap-on warranty, where they will just, okay, here's the paperwork, you got a warranty. With Freightliner warranty, you have to do these inspections. You have to take pictures. There's an immense amount of things before we can even sell that warranty. So, with the, this is the key thing. When you get the emissions warranty, there's three levels of coverage. There's your base warranty that's like your engine, trans, and rear. That's your bulk of that truck. Then you have what's called Select Extra. That covers like your turbo, injectors, fuel pump, water pump, really more of the pricier stuff on that truck. But the main important one is the after treatment and emissions. That's where you get into this DPF filter, all this new sensors on these trucks, and that one box that will make or break you. And when you get that Freightliner warranty and that after treatment, that is when we replace that DPF filter. And you're talking $3,500 to $4,000 that we pay, you don't. You drive out of here with if I could walk down the hall and grab it and show it to you guys, I would, because we have a dirty one down the hall that I showed just about to everybody.
Okay.
And it looks like a sick lung, by 80, 90% full of, imagine, ash that's been just pressed and pressed and pressed in there. And what most dealerships do is say, oh, we'll clean it for you. Well, they take it out. We have that machine because that's what we did before we started replacing them.
Right.
Is you put it in there, you bake it, spin it, blow it, and put it back in the truck. Gets the ash count down to about 50%, makes the customer feel happy. You clean their DPF filter. What I call that is just slapping a Band-Aid on something.
Right.
We take it to a whole nother level here. Like I was saying, advocating for this program. A lot of the select dealerships don't even do this. Whoever you want to say.
Yeah.
I was like, if we do this one program, it will change our entire clientele here. I mean, before that we were getting customers just calling. Everybody's mad at everybody because of this new system. When we changed that one thing, it ended it. Instantly. I mean, because everything in that truck runs better with that one change. Nobody wants to do it because it's so expensive, but we chose to do it.
Yeah.
And we've been continuously doing it, and I think it changed, everything about how we sell trucks here.
So this is an additional warranty that you put on top of the Freightliner warranty.
No, it's part of it.
There's
three levels of it.
Oh, okay, got you.
Here's kind of how I do it. When I submit a deal, I always submit it with the most warranty that truck qualifies for.
Okay.
Whether and that's based on miles.
Okay.
Whether it's 1 year, 2 year, whatever it is, I'm going to put the most it can. Then when I get the approval back, then we're going to sit down and have this conversation about warranties. And we're going to go into detail based on their budget, how it affects that payment. If that, you can get a little bit less payment with that 1 year, but do you want to risk it? Pay a little bit more and make sure you have this coverage for a whole nother year.
Right.
So some trucks we even get qualified for 3 and 4 years. It just depends on the truck. So we have those conversations.
Right.
But we make sure I have the conversation when we're in closing. My finance manager goes over it all again. This customer is probably going to have 3 to 4 to 5 conversations about warranty. It's not just, you want warranty?
Right.
No, you're going to have a very, very clear knowledge of what you're going to have and what you're not going to have because it's that important.
What are some of the other things that goes into that conversation when you're talking warranty aside from miles that determines whether you can qualify, since we're talking kind of about that? What are some of the things that you have to look at in the truck to see how much warranty somebody could qualify for?
Well, really, that's only it. I mean,
miles?
As far as the miles, yeah. Sometimes it will cut off on year make if you have some kind of crazy fleet that didn't have low miles, but it had the year make that worked. So yeah, sometimes you can squeeze a truck in somewhere that might not have fit. But I mean, usually most fleets, and I can kind of give you and this is kind of what's changing right now too. This is one of the things that's going to change our entire industry really in a huge, huge way is you've got historically most trucks and most bigger fleets in the country have all traded out of their trucks from $450 to $550. That's when the warranty was up. That's when that sometimes they'll go a little bit past that and they're trying to do the trade-in and that kind of thing. Well, now all those big fleets in the country, every one of them are still driving their trucks that they should have traded to me
right.
8-9 months ago.
Right.
So you're talking mileages when they start trading those trucks back in now. You're talking $650 to $750.
That's interesting.
That is going to be the new mileage that Courtnay is going to have to explain when they're going, look, doesn't that sound like high miles? No, that's the new norm.
Right.
That is where the most important part of this whole conversation really comes into play, because when you talk about the mileages that are going to start rolling in here, you better buy it from somebody who does this kind of stuff. If you're buying it from somebody who is just going to do a DOT is, if you don't know, is bare minimum. It's what you do just to put a truck on the road.
Right.
Do the windshield wipers work? Do the lights work? Do the, just very, very minimal. So if you're talking $650 to $750, you're talking, this inspection better be very thorough. It better, be at a dealership that's willing to spend that kind of money and
Right.
can spend that kind of money. Or if not, you are.
Yeah.
You know, so
No, for sure, for sure. So prior to, I guess, like this environment, did you guys have like a threshold on miles that you would actually, like, the purchasing department would
yes,
buy?
absolutely. With Freightliner warranty, you cannot put a Freightliner warranty on a truck over 650. So that's all kind of in the works right now. And here's another thing. This is another thing that's been extremely important right now with all the diverse inventory that we've been bringing in, because we're bringing in the internationals, the Kenworth, stuff that we never had before. And we're still doing the full trade term that we would do on a Freightliner on these other products.
Right.
So that and they don't even qualify for this warranty, but he's still doing that inspection on those coverages. So on those trucks. So that we've had to change about how they do things in the back. They didn't know. Oh, wait a minute, on international, you might have to check this. That the Freightliners don't have that, or this or that. So we've had to accommodate a lot of things to make all this, but still do our same inspections, still that we would do on a Freightliner truck, because we still want to be putting out that product that we
Same
put
quality.
out with Freightliners.
Yeah.
And so we've had to really step up our game and learn, and especially for me, I mean, I've had to really spend extra time learning new products. I've sold every kind of truck there is, but do I sell them on a regular basis? With Freightliner, each new year when that truck comes in, that's when we're learning the new, this is new on this truck didn't have it last year, and this one's a little more aerodynamic, so there's new things every year. But when you bring a whole new product into it,
right,
you've got to up your game so that you know what you're talking about.
Are your thresholds the same on those, like, other products, like international and so forth? Like,
that's the thing. With those outside source warranties, they can go up to like $950. The reason they can do that is because they don't do this. So it's basically, we go right back to the slap-on warranty. But Freightliner right now is in that kind of sweet spot of trying to figure out what are we going to do when all these new trucks start coming in that are going to be over 650. If and when they do. We don't really know where that mileage is going to be and how that's, the warranties are going to have to tweak things, and every day, something different.
Something new every day. What do those other warranties cover? Like, do they?
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Well, I mean, you're getting into a lot of. I mean,
Yeah.
they're still going to carry engine, trans, and rear. A lot of the same stuff don't cover the one box. Your water pump, your turbo. They have coverages that cover that stuff.
Yeah.
But here's the biggest difference, and this is probably one of the things. Write this down. If remember anything I said, remember this.
Okay.
Freightliner warranty does not have aggregate limits, which means if your turbo blows, we're going to pay $3,700. We're going to pay the full amount. On any of these other outside warranties, there are limits. We'll pay up to $800 of that $3,700 repair, or we'll pay up to $2,000 of that $4,000 repair. So it's all these limits based on what the repair is. And so you really don't know until your truck goes in what you're going to pay. With a Freightliner warranty, you're not going to pay anything. It's going to be covered, period. It's in the system. There's no gray areas. It's if and this is what it is.
Right.
And so it really, really makes those warranties stand apart. But right now, I mean, I have to be honest, I'm having to sell some of these other warranties. So I'm pulling out what I try to do with every aspect of what I do, find the positives, because there's a lot of outside source warranties. Which one do you want to use if you've got to sell one?
Yeah.
So that's really what we're doing right now.
Is there anything that you would advise anybody if they're just purchasing a truck? Let's say they're not at Select, but what do you definitely want to look for in a warranty for sure? Like, if there's 3 things you want to make sure the warranty has, what would they be?
After treatment. Yeah. A lot of people will, even they put it in ads, will just say comes with. That may be just the remaining manufacturer's warranty where the real warranty fell off, but it has a little bit of this, manufacturer's left that was just basic components. Like, you have to really read between the fine lines, because that warranty is really nothing, and so making sure that it does, it's not just something that was remaining, and you're talking about a 2020 truck that's got a lot of the actual remaining coverage on there. But the after treatment, number one, by far number one. If you don't, write that word down.
Can you explain exactly what after treatment means for anybody who doesn't understand
absolutely.
that?
And that's kind of what we've been talking about with that DPF filter. That one box, DPF filter, DEF, all those are encompassing what we're talking about after treatment. For years and years and years, when y'all would see these trucks driving down the road, and you would see an exhaust pipe with all that going out into the environment, they shut that completely off. 2007, 2008. There was about 5 different steps to this process. It was absolutely huge. Changed everything about our business. Caterpillar, who I know everybody's probably heard of, completely got out of the business. There were mandates that had to be put in place by the government on certain dates where Detroit, Cat, and Cummins, the 3 major engine makes for trucks, had to have an engine that passed for the emissions. Cat couldn't come up with one. You had International that had big issues with one that they came out with. Then Detroit and Cummins did pass those, so they've got an engine in there, but it was still a lot of bugs that had to be worked out. So those years of that, oh my gosh, it was the toughest years of my career. I mean, it just, people screaming at you, people that had bought trucks, but they're all on the side of the road. There was just so many steps to this process of getting the environment and getting this on these trucks, this exhaust, to go back into the truck. And that's what the DPF filter is.
Right.
It's about this big around, about this deep. The newer trucks have 2 small ones, but everything that is about those filters is to take all that exhaust back into the truck. So you can imagine all that going back into the truck is going to be a lot on the truck.
Yeah.
And so it's going to affect everything in that truck, and it did, and horribly.
Right.
And so with that said, that's what the after treatment is. It is, how are you going to treat all of this soot that is coming back into this truck? Where's it going to go? Where are you going to put it, and how's it going to be maintained within this truck? And so, oh my goodness, it has been, as of now, as of today, it is a great system. They've got it figured out. When we chose to do this DPF program, it completely just made everything run better. Everything can breathe better. Everything that just, I always tell people, just think of a sick lung, because that is the best way to think of it. You cannot function properly unless you can breathe. And it is causing everything. So it just, it's like brings back new life to that truck when you just throw the old one out and replace it. And so hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, no, it does. So after treatment, guys, remember that.
No, yeah.
All right, let's talk about financing.
Okay.
Let's talk about the money, right? Everybody,
Absolutely.
obviously, it costs money to buy a truck.
Yeah.
Can you talk about some of the financing options that people have? And before you buy a truck, if you want to look at your finances for yourself to know if you're ready, what type of things do you need to kind of see?
Bunch of different ways to answer this question, because right now, so many people are jumping into the business that are completely, not knowledgeable, maybe don't know. There's some great classes out there that can teach you. Good Energy Worldwide is the one that you can go to a portal, learn how to do the trucking business and do it right.
Right.
When someone comes in here with that background, okay, they're ready to get a truck. Keep in mind, historically, no one has ever financed startup investors. They never have, they never will. What we did was really, really go deeper into this as far as trying to find somebody that would work with investors that really did have the knowledge, that had really taken the time to learn and get some education and had to really sell that to some finance companies. And so once we had some of those in place, we did a few, and then we did more. And then what really helped keep this going was the percentage of failure rates were so low because they did have the knowledge and they had the right people. They had a community that was helping them. They were in the right place. They had the right vendors. They had the right people that could be trusted. And so that has really, really helped. As far as just your standard, customers that I've had. I have tons of FedEx customers, tons of Landstar customers, just so many different arrays of customers that we here have financing for all of that. We have your standard sources, that are your banks. We have Daimler Truck Financial is probably the largest. They are part owner in our company. They are who most of our, standard good deals will go to. Great interest rates. Just main thing that they're looking for is what have you financed and how you paid on it. I don't care if it's a car, a home, a boat, a motorcycle. They will never be the first ones to finance you. That's the best thing I could tell people. So if somebody comes in, they're like, I got a few credit cards, that's not going to work.
So does credit score come into play?
Yes and no, but not really.
Okay.
That's a great question because everybody always asks that. And the best way to answer it on a truck, sometimes in a car, yes.
Okay.
With a truck, we're looking for a whole story. We're looking if it is a driver, they have to be driving at least 2 years. If it's a company, an investor startup, we need to know what you have been doing, and how long you've been doing it. And if you have other companies that we could piggyback on. A lot of people don't realize that. I mean, I have many other finance sources that I could get somebody who's a startup company that I might have to go to a secondary source, but oh, wait a minute, they've got this dry cleaning service they've had for 3 years over here. Let me piggyback on that because that takes it into a regular finance source, lower rates, lower down payments, So I've just brought on a couple of new members of my team, and they are awesome for basically just doing like a soft pull and seeing and having those conversations and pulling out information that we might just shot a credit app through and got turned down, but wait a minute, there's this and this and this. So honestly, that's my job.
Yeah.
My job is to get the stories, teach my team members how to get the stories, and just get this whole, it's just not about, and one thing I would say about credit score, because people do ask that all the time, well, my credit score is 700 or whatever. People don't realize you can have a high credit score, but it maybe only finance one thing, which made that score high.
Right.
What we're looking for is a whole picture of debt to income ratio, the drivers, how long have you been in this business? How long have you been at your job? How long, do you have another family member that might, my job is to pull out every aspect of that deal so that we can get the best deal.
Right.
And that's when everybody's like, Courtney's calling people back at 10 o'clock at night. That's, that's what I'm doing. I'm up here just logistically trying to piece deals and slowly pieces of the puzzle on every one of these deals instead of just shooting credit outs.
Yeah.
Because that just doesn't get the right deal. It doesn't get a good deal. It just is paper pushing.
Yeah.
So I'm really trying to sell stories to finance companies.
That's interesting. So it's not like, because I think a lot of people think that you're like just checking a box. No. It's like, do they have this? Do they have this? Do they have this? You're really like selling a narrative to actually convince somebody to have faith in this person's business or their vision.
And I tell people all the time, and sometimes it's hard in my office to get that out of people sometimes, but I'm like, if you just be honest with me, tell me the bad stuff.
Yeah.
Because I've heard it all. I've got bad, we all got bad stuff,
right.
Come on. So just, if they can tell me that, then I know, oh wait, I don't want to waste a pull on his credit to go over here or hers to go over there.
Right.
If I know the good and the bad of every deal. And so to me, that's a good salesperson. If you can get somebody to talk to you.
Yeah,
get somebody to give you that information. Because I can't tell you how many times we'd submit a deal and then we'd see something on there that they didn't tell me about. I'm like, if you just told me this, that, like I said, I say that's my job if I can do it.
What percentage of people do you like have to turn down usually? If you had to think about it, like out of every 10 customers you have, how many don't make it through the credit process?
Lately, because I've got so many just different creative sources that I have put together and we've put together here, I can almost literally get anybody done.
Wow.
Honestly.
Wow.
But with that said,
big butt.
Yeah, there's a big one. There's a big one. But you've got to, right now, you've just got to have some money. I mean, to be honest, you've got, if you're coming to the game with, a couple of grand, just, hold off save some money. I don't want to waste anybody's time, and I try to tell them up that front. It's just because the truck prices are getting pushed up.
Right.
So it doesn't have anything to do with, oh, your credit's bad, you got to put down $40,000. No, truck prices are $80,000 to $90,000.
Yeah.
What that means is, you know, these finance companies, keep in mind, they might have historically only financed $35,000 because they didn't do startup companies. I've pushed them, and we've worked to get them up to 40 to, you know, 60,000 down now. The truck's 100,000.
Yeah.
So all that's going to come back to is, okay, now this guy's got to come up with more money. You know, so it's tough. It's tough to have those conversations, but we're still selling trucks like crazy. But you know, I don't want to just run people's credit without having those conversations. Saying, yeah, you know, you've got to have more money right now.
Yeah.
You just do.
So when you say some money, give us a number. If
20 to 50 grand.
20 to 50 grand.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and that's with startups.
Right.
You know, our regular customers that have come in here for years, that have truck credit built up, who bought, you know, 6, 10 trucks, whatever, those we're going to Daimler Truck Financial. We're going to, you know, all our sources that we have, many, and I can probably get those down at 10% down, you know, just standard regular deals. So there's all kinds of different scenarios that we have to work through and figure out on every one of them.
Got you. What do you think is a major difference between like the newer people getting into the industry, like from your experience, the newer people getting into the industry and the people who are like, they have fleets, like what do they understand that the newer people don't?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So like what are the vets in the game, what do they understand about this process that the newer people might not get yet that they need to learn? Because they're going to get to that point at some
right. And honestly, that's one of the things that I take so heavy on myself, because I want to give them all this knowledge so that they don't mess up. You know, because I mean, I think there's so many people. You know, it's myself. I can say, well, I've seen this person fail because of this. I've seen tons of failures.
Right.
You know, tons and tons and tons. But I know why they failed. And I could tell from the second they walked in my office why they were going to fail. My job is to tell them what they need to do. It's their choice to do it or not, to wait, to do this or that. So my job is to be as honest as I can about the good and the bad about it. And because that's what those fleets have learned. They have bought one truck, and I've had many, many customers who bought one truck and now own 10, 50 trucks or whatever. But you can imagine the things that they've learned, you know, and messed up, and just how they bought trucks, and now they do this or that. So that's where a salesperson with knowledge comes into, and taking the time. I mean, you've got to. One of the things I'll tell people are always, I can't get in touch with Courtnay. I can't get in touch with Courtnay.
Right.
This is why, because I want to have these conversations with people. And so you can't just, you know, get off the phone real quick with people. You've got to be considerate and really have some kind of care in what you're doing as a human being and how serious of business this is, to have these conversations about what I've learned, what people have learned, and then I'm going to relay that to you so that you're not just getting thrown out to the wolves. A lot of my customers who come to my office, you're going to see there's a whole shelf in there of just business cards. There's probably 100 in there. Those 100 business cards are not just random. Those are people that I think are going to be able to help my customers, people that I trust, people that I've known for 20 years. My trailer contact in there, I'll shout out to Guy Land over at Utility Trailer Sales. He knows his stuff, you know. So these bigger fleets, that's what they've learned. They've learned all these things: where to go, where not to go, who to talk to, you know, who handles paperwork. You know, there's a lot of companies. Financial Integrity Group is one down in Griffin. I give that card to every one of my customers. A lot of people starting out might not have that knowledge.
Right.
So
the network.
The network. So if I can hand parts and bits and pieces of my network to my customers, it's priceless. I mean, these people have helped me in just so many ways. Just to throw a name on a card to somebody that can help somebody with a 2290, or even tell them what is a 2290, what is highway use tax, all these things that I didn't know. You know, I didn't know how that it took 2 or 3 days to get this done because you didn't have this. My job is to help you through those steps that these bigger fleets have done. And so, you know, hopefully I can be a piece of that in some kind of way, or a place that people can call if they don't have anywhere to go, you know.
Gotcha.
So like I said, hopefully I'm answering your questions. But
so when you started answering that, you said when they walk into your office, you know they're gonna fit. Like if you know the ones that will fit.
Yeah.
What is that thing? Because you didn't answer that.
No. Okay, I'm glad.
Thanks
for bringing me back.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing me back. Because I would say because they don't listen.
Okay.
Listening is the hardest thing to do when you are ready to start a business, because you are so motivated and you are so focused and you've got all this knowledge. You're ready to put a picture of your truck on social media and tell everybody you're a new business owner.
Right.
I have to take it back down every time and just be so diligent to make sure that all these steps are done and done correctly. And sometimes you can't do that because they don't want to hear it. They just want to go outside and look at trucks. Can we just go look at trucks? And I've been cut off by customers. Can we just go look at trucks? Can we just go outside? And I'm like, I'm going to be courteous and okay, I'll go walk out there, but I'm going to be doing a lot of talking while we're walking because I've got to bring them back down to this is not just about the truck. The truck honestly is the most important part of this whole equation. You've learned all this knowledge. You want to make sure you have the right truck, but you better know what you're doing. Just
right.
So to answer that in the best way I can, it's just when I see somebody that will not, take a hand from somebody, and let them lead them, and they want to lead themselves, it can just go off a cliff. And I've learned that in my own life with a lot of things, and I'm a very hands-on kind of person. Just don't want anybody to tell me how to do stuff, And I've had through this career have had to, slow down and kind of go back and let people teach me things. Lynn, one of the guys right next to me here, good old boy, owns a farm, just been doing this a long time as well. He knows every little ins and outs of the trucks, and we all feed off each other. We all have completely different qualities in what we do, but the warmth and the passion for what we do and the knowledge from each person is going to be just know that half of my knowledge might have came from this person or this person that works here. So it's you just listen and take heed when someone's talking to you that has been doing it for a long time, just like you. I'm sorry you could teach me. So
what was your worst day as a salesperson?
Oh God, it's funny. The first incident that came to my mind had a couple that had a horrible problem with the truck, and this is what the customers never see, the customers never experience, is what we feel when something goes wrong. And I take it to heart. I mean, I don't know if that's a woman thing, I don't know. But you feel like it is a part of your family. But it was a couple, I could see their faces right now when you asked that question. I completely didn't take a call for 3 days. Shut my office in there and spent 3 days talking to transmission, corporate, everybody that I could to help this couple. And because what was happening to them, I felt was wrong, and I was going to stop everything in my life to make it right for them.
Right.
And 3 days of work still couldn't get it to where I think they should have been helped.
Right, they had a good resolution.
And the resolution never came to play, and the customers probably hated me, they hated everybody, but they never saw how much work and how much care I had into it. And I think that's it breaks my heart, when I can't help somebody, or, where they didn't have the right warranty, where this might have been covered if you would have done this or that, or, and so that was probably the worst. It was the worst because it was a very big amount, and I think it really, really affected their family, and, I'll never forget it.
Was this a repair that they needed to get done, or something that wasn't covered? Or just,
it was. But the reason that repair happened, it was kind of one of those gray areas, whether the driver caused it or that kind of thing. And I truly to this day felt it was not a driver thing. So as a salesperson, I spend a lot of time fighting behind the scenes. Nobody ever sees it. For my customers on warranty issues. Well, this is not covered. Well, what about this? So That's what I was going to say, that a lot of times people can't get in touch with me is because I'm having those conversations, or I'm having these, stories, or just trying to get the right answer to maybe get something covered, or that kind of thing. So just, you guys keep trying. You'll get me. No, I'm going to call you. It might be 2 or 3 days, but I will get you. But when you do get me, that's the one thing. If you're here and you're talking to me and you took the time to come in here, I don't answer calls. I don't do anything. You are my priority when you're in front of me. If you're closing, these people have spent months to get to that closing time. So I take that very seriously. So when you do get me, I'm going to be talking to you and you only. And so I want to hear that story. I'm going to find out what we're doing. Is your truck broke down? I want to find out why. I'm going to get up from that conversation. I'm going to go talk to my shop. I'm going to be calling somebody. I'm going to be working behind the scenes trying to get something resolved. And so with that said, that was a bad one. No, it was bad.
Are there things you could do proactively in terms of like documentation or record keeping that will help you when it comes to like warranties that like owners should know?
Well, everything, just regular maintenance, really, for warranty stuff. And it really doesn't even matter. You don't have to have it done at a Freightliner. It has to be done, just on a regular basis. So just the fluid changes, the regular stuff you would do on your car.
Right.
They definitely need to know that
your
kind of
PMs
stuff. If it got to a situation like that couple situation, those are the questions they're going to ask. I mean, well, did you do this? Not even if it had anything to do with the repair. Right. They just want to know that you're taking care of your truck. And so when you pick up a truck here, in the paperwork, it's going to show you every single thing that we did. Whether all the fluids are changed here. I mean, filters, everything is done here from day one. We use all synthetic fluids. I mean, it's done to the highest level. So when you drive out of here, everything's going to be a clean slate to start, but it's up to you from that point on. And that's one of the things in my red folder is, a maintenance schedule for your truck, whether it's International, Cummins, whoever, but all this stuff can be found online. And I would hope at that point, that's one of the things a lot of people don't know. They've done to a lot of training, but, do you know when to change this or that? Or so many things are online right now, and there's so many resources, but call me. Yeah. If I don't have an answer, I'm going to go walk back to the shop, and we're going to find the answers. But that's one of the things when I say being ready is knowing that kind of stuff. You're not just buying a truck; you got to take care of the truck. Yeah. You got to have somebody that works on that truck and somebody you trust. Which, when you do take all your repairs into Freightliner, which is another huge reason for the warranty, and doing your repairs at Freightliner, it's in a national system, and so. You're talking 850 dealerships across the country to do this work, and boom, they pull it up in a second. So Texas, California, wherever. Priceless.
What would you tell people not to do when they're researching a truck? Because people jump online. Yeah. They Google the truck they want. All these sites come up that's selling trucks. Yeah. What would you tell them? Don't do this. Like, you know what I mean?
I think so.
What's something that people will probably they're looking for, but it's like, this is probably the worst move you could make when you're looking for a truck?
Well, number one, buy from a dealer. Obviously, even with cars and things like that.
What about auctions?
Yeah. Oh, no.
That may be the thing.
Well, that's a good one. That's great. That's a whole nother podcast in itself. I can give you examples on that. Yeah. With that said, a matter of fact, we do. When my ex-manager here, he did a whole kind of white paper on that, explaining about auctions and why you shouldn't buy there. One of the main reasons is, keep in mind, we buy trucks all over the country. We get trucks that come in from here to there, wherever. Dealers buy and sell from each other. Sometimes when we get something in, and it goes through all our stuff in the shop, and some major something's wrong with that truck. We have our top guy on it. They bring in a specialist. We got everybody working on this truck. It's up to 20 grand worth of repairs, and it's still not right. At that point, we have to make a decision. This is a piece of crap. Right. We're not going to sell this to our customer. We're going to make that educated decision. And at that point, where does it go? It goes to the auction. That is where all problem trucks go. That is where, when through this COVID situation, the pandemic, when everybody's just kind of buying trucks everywhere, we have bought some trucks. I can't even begin to tell you the repair bills on those trucks. I mean, this was just a regular truck and it was 18 grand. So there's really no profit built into it. You have no idea what you're getting into. So if you're just an individual just buying a truck, you don't have a shop back here, you don't have diagnostics. We have $1 million worth of diagnostics in our shop, you know, so, and know how to read those diagnostics. If you don't have those capabilities, buying something at an auction is just absolutely a nightmare. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, the white paper that he did was, you know, just probably 20 to 30 different items on there of things. And he's one of the main buyers here. So he's been there, he's experienced these auctions, you know, just basically, and now everything's online. So you're just buying stuff sight unseen. It can be just disastrous. It really, really can. But if you're the kind of person who wants to take those chances and you've got some friend of a friend who can work on trucks, you know, more power to you. But if you're a serious buyer who wants to do this right and do it well and do it with a good warranty and, you know, so that your driver is not down for months and months and months. When that's another big thing with investors, you know, you spend so much time finding a driver and finding the quality driver, finding the right driver. At that point, this driver has invested in you, in your business that you just came to Courtnay to get.
Right.
So I almost feel obligated to the driver, you know, this is his livelihood. So he doesn't want to get out there in the first 2 weeks and the AC don't work, you know, this doesn't work, the on and on and on and on and on. So with an auction truck, you've pretty much lost your driver before you even started because he doesn't want to be down unless you are going to be paying him for his downtime. So you're paying him, you don't have a truck making money. It just really implodes on itself. It just doesn't make for a good package at all. It really, really doesn't. I would say dealers, yeah, I mean, a lot of your mom and pop dealers buy from auctions and that's where they get their inventory. But do they fix everything like this? No. They can slap on a outside source warranty, clean it up, make it look pretty, sell a cheap truck, and that's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have to make a decision, what kind of business do you want to start, you know, and you got to think about every part of it, that driver being a huge part of it. Your driver, you got to take care of him or her, you know, and they don't want to be down.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So,
100%.
No, and they don't want to be in a broke down truck. They don't want to be on the side of the road.
And especially now with, you know, drivers being so scarce.
No,
you want to make sure that your business is solid because you'll lose your driver really fast.
I will tell you right now, and a lot of people don't know this. I mean, when you hire these drivers right now, those drivers are making a list of people they talk to. They're like, all right, I'm going to go to work for this person, but I'm going to keep a list of these 4 other people that are going to be my backup in case this don't work out. So when you get somebody, you have got to treat them just in a whole nother way that truckers have just not been treated over the course of this. I've seen it. I've seen it in horrible ways. And you've got to have a good machine for that guy.
Yeah.
You really, really do.
Yeah.
And you better take it serious. Don't think just making money. Think you're going to make money. This is the way I've always, you know, looked at my business. And this is a good comparison is, you know, a lot of salespeople will, you know, we have trucks to sell. I have a whole inventory sheet of trucks every week to sell, whatever's available, whatever we just bought. And salespeople will look through, let's see how much this truck makes or this truck makes, and I'll sell that one because I'll make more money. I never look at that. Never look at that. Never have, never will look at it. I don't have any clue what I make on a truck until the end of the month. No clue. And the reason for that is because it takes the person, the personality, the stories, it takes it out of it. You're not doing this for that person. You're not doing it to help this family be in business for themselves, or you're just all about getting a paycheck. If you do it the right way, if you do it in a way that you care for that person and that they get a right truck, a good truck, they're gonna tell 20 people about you.
Right.
And they're going to know 20 years from now that you'll have a person calling you, telling you, thank you for selling me my first truck and selling me a good truck. He even remembered things I had told him,
right.
which was unbelievable to me. He remembered my kids' names. It was just crazy. So what it really kind of brought back to me what and how you should be a salesperson, and don't ever forget it.
Yeah.
Don't forget it. Don't matter where you are in your career and this and that. Come back to your roots. Be thankful for the people that got you here. Be thankful for your company. Be thankful for a job right now. And when you come in every day, work your tail off.
No doubt.
And
what's the saying? They say people don't remember what you do for them, but they remember how you make them feel, I believe, or something like that.
Absolutely.
They always remember how you make them feel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. So I think we've kind of covered everything. Is there anything that I missed?
I know. I'm thinking, I hope we got it.
I mean, if there's something else that I
We
missed.
waited a year for this.
All right, I know. Right? Courtney's like, nah, you got, there's more. Well, so I
don't know.
Are there any frequently asked questions that, people have asked you that you just like to kind of bring some clarity on, or just make sure, hey guys, remember this, or did we kind of touch on it all?
I mean, I think we did. I really think we did. It's just, I think that just to bring it all back together, it's just know that this is not the norm.
Yeah.
This is not the norm. These down payments are not the norm. And like, oh my gosh, this big down payments. But it's just because everything is changing daily, and just know and trust you're in the right place. I mean, we're gonna do the right thing. We're gonna keep doing what we're doing, no matter what's going on with the crazy country. We didn't change one thing we did all during COVID.
Right.
Every day I came in here, I thought it would. I was, we have a meeting every Monday morning, and, we get information and we all kind of feed off each other. And I thought for sure I was, we're going to start, we're going to cut back on this and cut back on this, and we got to start not doing this. But we never did. And so thankful for it,
Right,
so, but,
right.
I think we did cover everything.
What's the typical time right now for a truck right now? What's the waiting list?
Well, I mean,
like?
the second I buy something, like I was saying, it's usually sold in days, minutes, but as far as that truck getting
time,
here, you've got, transports are a little bit slower just because of that, because of drivers shortages and things like that. But I'd say sometimes it depends on the transport company. Sometimes it's 1 or 2, 3 weeks to get here. Then I've got to have at least a full week, sometimes 2 weeks to get a truck, depending on the parts situation right now.
Right.
So
right.
I'm just constantly, trying to give people updates and just begging people to just be more patient right now.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can say.
So if I walked in here today and if I purchased a truck, how long am I waiting total? Just on average.
3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's a good average. Sometimes longer, sometimes quicker. Some of what's good right now is because of we're pulling some trucks from some other stores that might be already finished. I just sold one yesterday to a guy that one of my regular customers was buying 2 trucks. He called me and said, Courtnay, I need to not do both of them. I need a day cab instead. So he's doing 1 sleeper and 1 day cab. So I was releasing a truck. My next thing was to call the next person in line. So I had that truck sold pretty quick, but that would be an odd situation because it was finished and done, and he was ready to go. And so boom, he's wiring the money tomorrow and he'll be on the road. So, but that's not the norm.
Got you.
And it will change. So yeah, I mean, but I just wanted to really lay out there to everybody, to be, just to know that everything about what's going on right now is not how it's been for 23 years of my career.
Right.
And so with everything, as with everybody, just stay positive through all of it. Do whatever you're doing, whatever job you're in, just make the best of it. Don't come in and be, with everybody. We can just be on each other all the time because we're like, well, this is not the way we used to do it. And everybody's just mad at everybody. You just got to come in and just accommodate everybody and just know it's hard. Everybody, everybody's home situations. Everybody that walks in my office, I don't have a clue what's going on with their family. I can't even imagine what's with so many families right now with jobs lost and this and that. And so just, just know that everybody you're talking with or dealing with could be dealing with something way, way worse than you know. So
that's a fact.
That's all I'm going to say.
We have to adapt to these new times.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. All right, Miss Courtnay. Well, listen, let everybody know where they can connect with you, how they can learn more about what you have going on here at Select. Yeah. And then we'll kind of wrap this show.
Yeah, I'm going to actually give everybody my cell phone.
Okay.
Some people don't do that, but that's how I do business. So it's 678-618-2462. And just know that it's about, on average right now, about 2 days before I get to you. That sounds insanity, but that's how busy
right.
it is right now. So just be patient with that process. Just know when I do call you, and I call people sometimes back late at night, know that. I work all during the day with actually, one-on-one with people. So I'm usually calling people sometimes from 6 to 10. That sounds insanity. But just know, I tell people, if you have my cell phone, put it in a hotline in your phone. So when I call,
you pick up.
No, and I'm being serious because it might be 2 more days, and I hate to even say that, but it's just a little bit different right now. So, but anyway, the email is cbeckham, Beckham. I always say just like the soccer player. My husband looks just like him. It's cbeckham at peachstatetruckswithas.com. And then the number up here is 800-999-2512. And pretty simple. Just ask for I'm the only girl up here, so just ask for that girl. So you'll get me.
No doubt. And if you tell them Truck and Hustle sent you, she might call you back in the day.
Yeah.
We might cut a day off or something off of that. So let them know, and let her know in the email or the voicemail. Truck and Hustle said you'll pick up in a day.
And it's been exciting, real quick, just to watch you.
Yeah.
No, because we literally did talk a year ago. It's been a blessing to me to watch what you've done and what you've brought to the industry, which is always just invigorating to me to see that kind of stuff. For people that are really giving back to the industry and teaching people, because that's what helps me. It helps me when people are more educated, they know more things. It's the less I have to do, and so it really affects everybody. And, we appreciate it. We really do.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And thank you so much for all the value that you brought to the show today, all this information. I think that people are going to love it.
Awesome.
Listen, guys, make sure you contact Courtnay at Select Trucks of Atlanta. Yeah. You know how we do this time. Hustle fam, if you smell something burning, it's only your desire. Courtnay and we are out.
Adios.
If you twisted, confused, or stuck about trucks, don't be dumb. This is the place to come. Truck and Hustle. Let's go.